Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Fpl Yathu, our fantasy Premier League football podcast, whereby we talk about different stuff about fantasy Premier League. We give you ideas, analysis, and different tactics. So you're with me, your boy Zuliti Nizande, and we're back with another episode. This is our fourth, if not 11th episode. And today, what we're going to cover is Game Week 11 fixtures review, as we do. Um, we're also going to look at Game Week 10 results. And also during Game Week 10, in our FPL league, we had like a competition whereby the guy who scores the highest points in Game Week 10 gets 8,000. So we're going to tell you who our winner was. We're also going to look at the team with the best upcoming 5 fixtures. We're going to look at maybe the top 5 teams, and also we're going to look at top captain picks, the players who have been captained the most when the season started. Besides that, we're also going to look at the top goalkeepers and top midfielders this season. And yeah, that's all we're going to look at during this episode. So let's dive in. All right, starting with the Game Week 11 fixtures. Our first match was Brighton versus Leeds, which ended in a 3-0 win for Brighton. The goals were scored by Gomez and Danny Welbeck. Gomez scored 2 goals, Danny Welbeck 1 goal. Assist was by Yakuba Minta, who gave 2 assists, and Wafer gave 1 assist. The bonus points were given to Gomez, Wafer, and Van Hecke. Gomez got 3 points, Wafer got 2 points, and Van Hecke got 1 point. When you look at defensive contributions, Wafer got 13 defensive contributions in that game. So when you get 13, when you get more than 10 defensive contributions as a player, that's 2 points for your player. So yeah. The next game was Arsenal versus Burnley. Burnley was home. This game, Arsenal won 2-0, and the goals were scored by Declan Rice and Victor Gyökeres. The assists were by Gabriel, the defender. If you don't have him, I don't know what you're doing. And Trossard. The bonus points were given to Declan Rice, Gabriel, and Gyökeres. Declan Rice got 3 bonus points, whilst Gabriel and Gyökeres, they both shared 2 bonus points. And when we look at defensive contributions, Downzebe for Burnley got 19, Declan Rice got 21, and Gabriel got 11. So those are the defensive contributions people have been getting, and those guys got 2 extra points. Looking at the other match, we had a game between Crystal Palace and Brentford. Brentford was thrashed 2-0, even though they're in good form, but then they lost. I thought they would win or maybe score a goal. The goals were scored by Mateta, scored 1 goal, and the other goal was an OG, whilst the assists were by Lemmer, 2 assists. Bonus points were given to Mateta 3, Gay 2, and Lemmer 1. Defensive contributions, Gay got 12, Kamada got 12, Lacroix got 10, whilst for Brentford, Collins got 12, and Van der Berg got 11. Going to the next match, we had Fulham versus Wolves. Fulham won that game 2-0. We all know that Wolves is in bad form right now, so I think I wouldn't tell you guys to get any player now. And I think this weekend they're playing against Chelsea, so all right, let me not go way ahead. The goals were scored by Fulham was scored by Sessegnon, Wilson, and the other goal was OG. Whilst the assists were by Sessegnon, Serge, and Raul Jimenez. The bonus points were given to Wilson, Sessegnon, and Leno. Sessegnon got 3 bonus points. Defensive contributions, Munetsi and S. Beuno. Those are the guys who got defensive contributions. The other game was by Nottingham Forest and Manchester United. Manchester United was leading this game, but then it ended in a draw. The goals scored were for Forest. The goals were scored were by Gibbs White and Savannah. Whilst for Manchester United, Casemiro and Amad Diallo scored. The assists were given by Bruno Fernandes. Was for the first guys were given by Yates and Igor Jesus. Bonus points were given to Gibbs White, 1 point. Whilst Casemiro got 3 points and 2 points for Amad Diallo. When we look at defensive contributions, Casemiro is there with 14, Cunha with 13, Anderson with 18, Murillo with 15. So we can see that Casemiro is really performing well because last week Casemiro scored. Yeah, I'm sure Casemiro scored last week and defensive contribution. This week again, he's done the same thing. I think Casemiro is a guy you can put in your team because if he doesn't score, he's giving those defensive contributions. But then sometimes he lets us down because he gets what? Silly red cards. And then we had the game Chelsea versus Spurs. Chelsea won by 1-0. Goal scored by João Pedro. Assist by Caicedo. Bonus points were given to João Pedro and Caicedo and Cucurella too and James. All these guys had bonus points. Defensive contributions were by Caicedo, Chaloba, whilst the other side, João Palhinha, Pep Matsa, and Javi Simons got defensive contributions. Javi Simons is actually having a bad season so far. If we look at the money spent on him, it's really bad. Okay, so the other game was by Liverpool and Aston Villa. Liverpool won this game 2-0. The goals were scored by Gravenberch and Mohamed Salah. McAllister gave an assist. Bonus points were given to Gravenberch, Mohamed Salah, and Robertson. Defensive contributions were by Konate with 12 defensive contributions. West Ham versus Newcastle United. West Ham won that game 3-1. It was surprising. I was even surprised that West Ham won this game. But then Paqueta scored a beautiful goal. If you saw the goal, it was a screamer. Souček also scored, and the other goal was an own goal. Whilst for Newcastle, Jacob Murphy is still on the run. He scored in his second game, so I think this is a guy you can consider as a differential looking at his price. The assists were by Bruno Guimaraes, who was also on the providing side. Like last week, he scored. This side is assisting. Whilst for West Ham, Bissaka and Fernandes are the guys who assisted. Bonus points were given to Paqueta with 3, Fernandes with 2, Jacob Matthew with 1. Defensive contributions, Todibo with 13, Wan Bissaka with 11. So I think Wan Bissaka this game was really on fire, and if you had them, I mean, he must have given you some points. But then for me, it's not a defender that you should consider because it's just one game that he's performed well. Now going on to Man City versus Bournemouth. Man City won that game 3-1. Erling Haaland scored 2 goals, when 1 goal was scored by O'Reilly. Also Bournemouth, Adams is the one who scored. Assists were by T. Scott, Chekri, and Phil Foden. I'll touch Phil Foden after we look at this. Bonus points were by Haaland 3, Chekri 2, and Adams go 1. Defensive contributions, and Nico Gonzalez for Man City got 14. Was Senesi got 14, and Truffet got 10. And the last game was by Sunderland versus Everton, which ended in a 1-1 draw. Xhaka scored for Sunderland, Ndiaye scored for Everton, and the assists were by LFA, whilst Everton didn't have an assister. Whilst the bonus points were given 3 to Xhaka, 2 to Ndiaye, and 1 for LFA. Defensive contributions were by Sadiki 12, Keane with 18, Ballard with 10, and Ghana with 14 defensive contributions. So this is how Game Week 10 results were. You can see that in Game Week 10, we had some guys who assured us that, okay guys, I think you can buy me. We were talking about Bruno Guimaraes. He scored in the last game, he's assisted. Talking about Casemiro, he's been scoring in his previous game, and he scored in, I think it's 3 games now that he scored. Despite that, defensive contributions, assists. So I mean, he's bringing you points. We can also look at Phil Foden. Phil Foden has been performing well. I think this season is back because in the Champions League too, he scored this week 2 goals. So I think these are differential guys that you can look at as maybe a replacement for Mohamed Salah. Because even though Mohamed Salah scored, guys, I'm telling you guys, don't buy Salah. he's too expensive for the performances what he's giving us this season. Like, we don't need Salah this season. So that was on the game week 10 results. Now we're going to who won the league bet of the highest points in game week 10. I want to congratulate Victor FC, Victor Mpanga, for winning the bets, the 8,000 Malai Kwacha bet. He was the highest in our group, and he scored 102 points, which is good. Which is good for him and good for the group too, because if your group is scoring good points, they rank it as one of the best groups. So keep it up, bro. And now it's time to look at the team with the most difficult fixtures. By FDR. Okay. Fixture difficulty rating shows us teams with the most difficult fixtures coming, and it also shows us teams with the easiest fixtures. So we start at the teams with the most difficult fixtures, starting with Chelsea. When you look in the long run for Chelsea, apart from Wolves is an easy game, but Burnley will be a tough game for Chelsea. Arsenal will be a tough game for Chelsea. Leeds will be a tough game for Chelsea. And Bournemouth will also be a tough game for Chelsea. So I think Chelsea is going to have tough games. Moving on, Burnley too will have tough games because they're going against West Ham United, they're going against Chelsea, they're going against Brentford, they're going against Crystal Palace. So as you can see, like, the next 5 games are tough. And after Crystal Palace, they have Newcastle. Same thing with Aston Villa. They have Bournemouth, they have Leeds, they have Wolves, they have Brighton, and then they have Arsenal. So these are the 3 teams that have the most difficult fixtures coming up ahead. So when it's like this, I don't know how you guys think of it, but then when I see that I have a player from a team that's going to have a difficult fixture, I usually keep one player from that team only, or I sell the guy, because fixture difficulty rating tells us that these fixtures are tough and your player might blank. But also on the other side, the other players who perform well when it comes to big games. So I mean, it's up to you guys. And the teams with the easiest fixtures, we have Manchester United, who are going against Tottenham, Everton, Crystal Palace, and West Ham United, and Wolves. So with the form Manchester United is in, I mean, you can bet on these guys. I mean, you just have to bet on these guys. We also have Liverpool. Liverpool have Man City, Nottingham Forest, West Ham, and Sunderland, and then they have Leeds. Looking at these fixtures are also easy for Liverpool. That's if they get back in form. But then if they don't get back in form, then I don't think we should consider this being an easy fixture for Liverpool. Hence, it might be some hectic, a frustrating fixture for them, because sometimes small teams they rise up to your team. They have like loopholes somewhere, so they destroy bigger teams. Like the same thing that's happening to Chelsea. Chelsea is being destroyed by smaller teams. But when they face big sides, I don't know what really happens in football. And the other team that has the easiest fixture is Bournemouth. Bournemouth has easy fixtures, starting with Aston Villa, West Ham United, Sunderland, Everton, and then going against Chelsea too. Bournemouth really look sharp, and I really give them a chance for doing well in the upcoming fixtures. So the other thing we're also going to look at is the top captain picks, the guys who've been picked as captains the most. Starting with Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland is the first guy that has been picked by people to be their captain, and I think people who have picked Erling Haaland, they've benefited very much because the guy is the highest scoring fantasy player right now. So let me say you triple captained him in last game. Those are good points. So you just captained him. Those are good points, And besides Haaland too, there's another player who's Semenyo. Semenyo has also been captained a lot, And it's not surprising because this season Semenyo has really stepped up his game. He's really playing good football. So Semenyo is another guy that has been captained a lot. Moving on from Semenyo, we have João Pedro. He's been captained a lot, but then I don't think João Pedro now is a guy you can captain because his performance has really gone down. He's not scoring as many goals as we expected. So another person is Gabriel. I was surprised when I saw Gabriel is being captained a lot, but then it makes sense now because um, Arsenal are keeping clean sheets for fun. They've kept like clean sheets in their last, I don't know, I think 4 games in the Premier League, and competitions, I think 5 games. So I mean, you have to get an Arsenal defender, but then captaining a defender is tricky. And this is the topic we talk about in the group. Should we captain a defender? Should we captain a defender? And everyone seems scared. But then I think just one time I'm going to share a game week whereby you can captain defenders. I'm going to give you 3 defenders that you can captain. Another guy that has been captained a lot is Mateta. Mateta has been captained a lot. We also have Melmo on the list. And the last one on that list, we have Bukayo Saka, who's also been picked as a captain a lot. All right, so now we're going to look at the top goalkeepers, and then we're going to finish with the top midfielders before we close with the Gameweek 11 fixtures, and we're going to give you a captain that you guys can pick this game week. So starting with top goalkeepers, which are the goalkeepers that you guys can rely on? Firstly, we have David Raya. David Raya is a guy that you guys can rely on because he's kept the most clean sheets. Like I was saying, if you get an Arsenal a defender, these guys have kept the most clean sheets this season. So David Raya is the first top goalkeeper that you can get, and you'll be satisfied that this guy is going to You'd be satisfied and justified that this guy is going to keep me a clean sheet. Another goalkeeper that you guys can look at is Dubravka. Dubravka this season has been in good form. He's been he's been keeping clean sheets. He's been giving those nice points. He's been making those saves. So I think Dubravka is another guy you can look at. Another goalkeeper that you guys can look at is none other than Vicario. Spurs, I know, have been shaky, but then Vicario has also been keeping those clean sheets. We can also look at Leno for Fulham. He has I think 3 clean sheets so far, which is not bad for a goalkeeper. Is it 3 or 4 or 5? Yeah, it must be somewhere between 3 or 5, and it's not really bad for a goalkeeper. And also we can keep an eye on Donnarumma because Donnarumma has been good. Since he came through for Man City, and I think this is a guy that we can trust him because Guardiola's players are always serious and top talent. So Donnarumma is also another goalkeeper that has been top this season. Mind you, these stats I'm giving you are just by the ones I researched. They're not by any other personals. They are my stats. So I know people might argue that how come this you're saying this guy? No, it's something that I just checked so that I can share with you guys in my point of view. So moving on to top midfielders. Damn, the lot. Okay, the first top midfielder is Antoine Semenyo. He's the most scoring midfielder this season. I don't think there's any guy who's coming near him. Even Mo Salah isn't coming near him. So Antoine Semenyo is a top midfielder this season, and he's been picked by many guys. Many guys. Another top midfielder this season is Mohamed Kudus. Mohamed Kudus has been in good form. He's been giving those points game week in and out. Besides Kudus, we have Declan Rice. Guys, Declan Rice this season is bowling, man. The guy is bowling, the guy is scoring, the guy is assisting, defensive contributions, everything, bro. He's doing it. So Declan Rice is also another guy that has been top. Another midfielder that has been top is Moises Caicedo. Caicedo has been a top midfielder, and there are debates now on the internet. People are debating who is better between Declan Rice and Moises Caicedo. I mean, me being a Chelsea fan, I can say it's obvious. I say Moises Caicedo, but then, guys, this is really a nice competition because having two top midfielders, it's really like, I mean, it's really interesting when you watch these guys play. I mean, it's worth it. It's worth your time saying that I watched Arsenal play today. I watched Chelsea play today, especially when these guys are playing Caicedo and Declan Rice. Okay, and another midfielder that has been good. We can look at Dominic Szoboszlai. He's been giving in those defensive contributions and he's been scoring goals. So Dominic Szoboszlai too has been top this season. I just like his performance. We can also look at the Sar from Crystal Palace. He's been top, and you know the way Crystal Palace has just transitioned this year has been really great, really amazing. So those are like some top midfielders I checked that were doing well this season, and you guys can add more on the midfielders and goalkeepers if you have different opinions. Now looking at who to captain this coming week. This coming week, there are different guys that we can captain. The first one is Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland is obvious that he's been in hot form, and I think he might score against Liverpool. So Erling Haaland might score because first of all he's home. So yeah, Erling Haaland is the first guy that you might captain. The second guy is Bukayo Saka. That's the guy I'm captain. Last week I captained him. Yeah, he gave me 3 points like the previous week. I'm still sticking with Saka because I feel like this week he might do it. Yeah, that's how I've been feeling like. So the other guy is Bukayo Saka because he's going against Sunderland, and I feel like Arsenal in good form and they might just break Sunderland, break Sunderland down. Another guy that I think you might captain is Mbeumo. Mbeumo is going against Spurs. Spurs are really weak. When they're playing against a team that counter attacks. Because I have noticed that these guys are still like playing that high line, that attacking game. So I feel like their defense is not that stable for that type of game. So I feel like captain Mbeumo too would be a good idea. I would have said Mateta, but then I'm not sure because Brighton too sometimes is tricky. So these are the guys that I think you guys can captain this game week. I ain't adding Mohamed Salah, man, because Salah hasn't been in that form that it's pleasing me. I think this is on Mohamed Salah. He's really dropped, and I wish the price of Salah would drop like maybe to 8 point something, because with the performances given us, guys, no, it's not worth having Mohamed Salah. And other players that I've seen that you guys can check on it. We have Jacob Murphy. Jacob Murphy is a differential that you guys can check on. Crystal Palace players, guys. Crystal Palace players, look at those guys. You can triple up on them. You can double up on Arsenal players. You can double up on some Chelsea players. Even though Chelsea has some difficult fixtures, or even getting one guy, either Caicedo, or any of those wingers. You can try those Chelsea assets. So I'm going to the last part of our program today. Is the Game Week 11 fixtures. The first match is Spurs versus Manchester United at the Spurs Stadium. This match, I think Man U is going to win, or it might end in a draw. And then after that, we have Everton versus Fulham. This game I'm giving it a draw or a win to Fulham. And then we have West Ham versus Burnley. This game I'm also giving it to Burnley, or it will end in a draw. And then we have Sunderland versus Arsenal. This game is for Arsenal, but then guys, Sunderland. But then I'm giving it to Arsenal, guys. Nah, cap. Jokes aside, I'm giving it to Arsenal. Arsenal can't lose this game. Then we have Chelsea versus Wolves. Chelsea beat Wolves, but then we saw during that game Chelsea almost bottled it. So I'm giving it to Chelsea or a draw. We have Villa versus Bournemouth. I'm giving it to Aston Villa, even though Bournemouth is playing good, but then I'm giving this game to Aston Villa. We have Brentford versus Newcastle. This game will end in a draw, but then it will have goals. We have Crystal Palace versus Brighton. This game will also be a game with lots of goals, but then I think Palace might just win this game. Nottingham Forest and Leeds. Forest is home. I think this game might also end in a draw, or Leeds might win this game. And then we have the big game of this week. These guys have a big game this week. These guys are playing against Manchester City at Manchester City's home. These are the champions. These are the champions of Premier League, the defending champions of Premier League. Whilst these ones are the champions of what? Europa League. And they're playing against Manchester United, the guys that they beat in the Europa League final. Okay? It's only that we don't have portraits of Man City and Manchester United. But then, as soon as we get them, hopefully by the second round, we'll have every portrait of the top 6 sides. We'll actually be putting the teams side by side. But then this week we have Liverpool versus Manchester City. This team is playing a big team, and we also have the defending Europa League, the reigning Europa League champions playing against Manchester United, whilst the Club World Cup champions are playing against Wolves at home. That will be the last game on Saturday. So that was all we had for you at Fpl Yathu today. You're with me, your host Zoliti Nizande. And one thing before I finish, in November we said the highest scoring team is going to win 10,000 Malawi kwacha in our Fpl Yathu league. And mind you, we're no longer taking any entries in the group. If you try to join the league, the league code has been revoked because we gave people enough time to join until game week. Is it game week 10? Yeah. So after game week 10, we've revoked the league, and no one else is going to join the league. So if you're trying to join the league, sorry, next time you might stand the chance of winning 100,000 Malawi kwacha in the shirt. Maybe next season it might even be a bigger price tag. But all in all, thank you very much, and see you next time on Fpl Yathu.